everybody. So today we're going to work on accordion books, and they're one of my favorite forms. They're kind of the foundation for a lot of different types of books, and there are a lot of different things you can do with them. This is a very, very old one called the Comic Alphabet. It is based on a book that was done in 1836. This is a facsimile of a kind of a reproduction, but it still is kind of in pretty rough shape. I think I found this at a yard sale. But you can see that this accordion, every page is a letter. And so it has the ABCs with a little picture on there of what that might stand for. And it's interesting. So S is for singing, T is for tantalizing, Q is for quadrille, R is for racing. And so that's kind of a fun way that you could use your accordion. And this also has a nice little paper wrapper that you can see that they just kind of attached that to one side and made a little spine area and then folded it over so you could read it like a regular book if you wanted to. So another one that I really love is this book that is just about the color red, and we're going to learn how to do pop-ups in the next couple of days. But I wanted to show you this because this has just all these really fun words that start that have to do with the color red. And so it's kind of a nice, easy thing to kind of focus on if you're looking for ideas. And they did some really fancy stuff. They put some board covers on the outside of this. You could glue some cardboard or some chipboard or something you have around the house on there and do something fun. This is one of my favorite ways to do an accordion. This has a combination of drawings. There's stamps, I think. This is done by my friend Shuzhu Wang. And what I love about this is that has a folded sheet of paper glued or tacked on there. I think you've got some labels in your kit that you can use to tack things on. But then it's got a hidden thing right here on every page. So what's kind of cool is you could use this to write riddles or do math problems. Anything you're trying to remember, this would be a great thing to make for keeping up with your studies. And then you can decorate the back as well, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to give a quick note. You know, my workspace here is very well loved. I use this a lot. And so it's pretty messy. I didn't realize until I watched the video yesterday of the instructions that it looks pretty rough. But it's very functional and it works for me. So please excuse how messy it looks. But we will get going on this project and I hope you have fun. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to put together a couple of little tutorials with some of the things that you had in your pack. So the first thing I wanted to do was just remind you that to start a little bag or a box, and as you find interesting things that normally would have gone in the garbage, throw them in there so that you have some additional fun things to work with. I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but it was just so beautiful and colorful, and might do something with it later. And then this was actually just the strip off of the facial tissue box. And I think I'm going to make a cool little bookmark with that at some point later. So just start a little stash where you can put things that normally you would throw away. One of the things that works out really well if you're careful removing the label from a can. Sometimes those can be really interesting collage materials. So anyway, okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to learn how to fold a perfect accordion. And an accordion is kind of a zigzag paper. And it makes a really cool book. And I'm going to do two different styles. So the first one, some of you got some long paper in your pack. Some of you didn't, but if you have something around that you can cut into a longer strip, that can work well. But I'm also going to show just with a random crazy little piece of paper how you can do a second version. So the instructions are the same whether you're working with a little tiny piece of paper or a big piece of paper. So my left hand is always going to be my holder, and my right hand is always going to be the thing that I use to move things. So I'm going to hold the left side with my left hand. I'm going to bring the right side over, and it's very tempting, and I'm matching this up as nicely as I can. Try not to be too fussy about it. I think I cut this a little wrong. I'm going to put my hands, smash it down, and then I'm just going to go up and down. I can use my fingernail, or you can use the handle on a little pair of scissors if you want to. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it around. So if I was going to open it, it would open in the direction of like a weird birthday card. Okay. I'm going to take my left hand, which is my holder. I'm going to bend that top leaf only backwards and match that edge up as nicely as I can with the fold. And I'm going to smash it down, give it a good crease. And then I'm going to take the whole thing and I'm going to flip it upside down. And again, I'm going to hold it with my left hand, take my right hand, my folder. So I have a holder and a folder. Smash it down. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it around again. So if I was going to open just the top leaf on this, just that top page, it would open in the direction of a birthday card. And again, I'm going to use my left hand to hold. Going to fold over, bend that back, and match that edge up perfectly, or as nicely as you can. With that left hand fold, smash it down. The heavier your paper is, the more kind of crunchy and crinkly it gets in that fold, and that's okay. Then we're going to flip the whole thing upside down, and we're going to repeat that. So I'm going to hold with my left hand, fold with my right hand, bend it backwards, match that up as nicely with the edge as I can, give it a little crease. Okay, so I always use these instructions. It works good for me, whether we're doing this with kindergartners or college students or adults. So I like to describe this as a teepee with a garage on both sides. So I'm going to put my fingers in the teepee, hold the garages on the side, and I'm just going to turn that roof inside out and give that roof a little crease so it knows I want it to live in the other direction. So now those little garages are on the inside. And I'm going to do that again just because that can be a little confusing, okay? So here's my teepee with my garages. Hold them on the side so everything, and then just slowly folding it around. Okay, so I have one fold on one side and many folds on the other side. And I'd like you to turn that so your one fold is on your left and your many folds is on your right. And my holder is going to hold that side. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put my hand in between those two garages. And I'm going to bend that whole little packet backwards. And if your paper is kind of heavy, you might have to manhandle this one a little bit to get it to work. And I'm going to crease that. Then I'm going to flip the whole thing upside down. And I'm going to bend that backwards and crease it again. Okay. What's awesome about this style of folding, you never have to measure. It doesn't matter what size your paper is. You just get this really cool, nice accordion. And when you go to decorate this and draw in it, whether you're doing a story or pictures or whatever you want to do, what I like to do is have one thing that goes, sorry, my chair's making some noise, kind of treats it like it's one big, this is just going to be my landscape. I like to do this where your lines touch each other every once in a while. It makes this really kind of cool, kind of hill-like landscapey kind of thing. Okay, and then I'm going to do a few mountains over here. I don't know what this is here. Do that. And then maybe I have a sun over here. And then I'm going to go through, and on each of these, I'm going to do a picture. So maybe I'm doing a picture of being outside going on a bike ride. Oh my gosh. This always reminds me of those things where they ask people to draw a bicycle and it makes you realize you have no idea how a bike really looks. So clearly I don't. So here's my person on a bike. Okay, give him a little hat. Okay, so she's gonna go on an adventure. And so I'm gonna go, and maybe I'm gonna, on every single page, I'll have a picture of what she encounters on this bike ride. And so what's really cool is you can write on it. You can say, one day I went on a bike ride. Okay. And then I can write things on every page so that you just read those separately like a regular book, but then when you put it out like this, you'll be able to see the whole thing. So that is the basic accordion. I'm going to do another one to show you how to make a little miniature book that's kind of in the same style with the lighter paper. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll share what you do on the comments of our Facebook page. And if you have a question, please put it in the comments, because I'm happy to answer that, and I can even respond with another little video if something isn't clear, or if there's something you really want to know how to do or need to know, you just put it in the comments and we'll respond to you and see if we can make it work, okay? All right, everybody have a great day. There. So this is the other piece of paper that some people had in their packet. And this is old ledger paper. It used to be before spreadsheets. You had to keep track of everything on paper. So this helped you keep your dollars and your cents and your numbers all together. But I just love the color of this, and it's just kind of a beautiful thing. So we're going to do very similar to what we did the first time, to make a little miniature book out of this, which seems weird that you can do that with just this piece of paper, doesn't it? So I'm going to go through the instructions just like we didn't do them before, just to refresh you, okay? So remember, your left hand is your holder and your right hand is your folder. So I'm going to hold with my left hand, fold it over, and I'm keeping this really flat on the table. I forgot to mention that in the last video. It's very tempting to want to hold it up in the air to do it, and it's so much easier if you keep it flat on your place setting, okay? So I'm going to turn it so that if I was going to open it, it would open like a birthday card. Going to hold with my holder, take that top leaf, bend it backwards, match that edge up with your fold. This paper is a lot more lightweight, and so I don't have to use my scissors to crease it. Okay, I'm going to flip the whole thing upside down, hold with my holder, fold with my right hand, bend that back so that the edge matches up with the fold, smash it down. Okay, and I'm just pretending that these aren't here. We'll play with those later. Okay, I'm going to turn my paper around, so if I was going to open only that first page, it would open in the direction of a birthday card. And I'm going to hold with my left hand and take only that top leaf. The leaf is like the page. Bend it backwards, match it up with the fold. Okay, and then I'm going to flip the whole thing upside down. And I'm repeating that, holding with my left hand, taking only the top leaf, bending it backwards. This is going to be very tall and skinny at first. Okay, so does everybody remember the teepee with a garage on both sides? Okay, so hold your garages on the side and make a big circle to bend that roof inside out. Okay, so now my little garages are on the inside. And I have one fold on the right and many folds on the left, and I want to switch that so that my one fold is on my left and my many folds are on my right. And I'm going to hold with my left hand. I'm going to stick my hand in between those two garages. I'm going to bend that whole little packet backwards, match up those edges on this side just as nicely as I can. Give it a crease, and then flip the whole thing upside down. And I'm repeating that. Just hold it with your left hand, put your hand underneath that other garage, bend it backwards. Now we're going to do something a little different. So if you wanted to, you could just go ahead and decorate this accordion just like we did the other one. But we're going to do an additional step and turn it into kind of a fun little book. So I'm going to pull this out and kind of flatten it. And you see how my ends are going up kind of like the end of a W? It doesn't really matter which way it goes, but I just find it easier this way. And I'm going to turn it so it's up and down. And actually, I think I'm going to do mine this way so that I can, well, no, I'll do it this way. Okay. So now I'm going to make one fold. I'm going to fold that whole long thing in half. And because we have those other folds in there, you know, sometimes it's a little bit squirrely. You have to kind of tell it you want it to. I'm going to give that a really nice crease. And I might just, I'm skipping my first panel here. I might just give that an extra crease because I'm actually going to tear or cut this. What I like to do, I'm going to do half and half so you can see. Okay, so it's hard to tell on this striped paper, but right now I have panels on here where those folds were, just like the panels on my other accordion that we made. And I'm going to find my very last panel, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to make a little mark so I know that when I cut this, I'm going to stop there, okay? We do not want to cut the whole thing in half because then we're just going to have two little accordions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear this, but I'm going to show you both ways. I'm a big fan of tearing, but you can also, if you have some scissors, you know, sometimes tearing is a little hard. I do it all the time, so I make it look easy, but it might be a little more difficult. So I'm tearing right, or cutting right on that fold line. And sometimes, you know, honestly, cutting is not as precise as tearing. So I'm going to see how it's a little bit janky where that fold kind of looks nice. So I'm going to just, okay, so whether I'm cutting or folding, I'm going to get down to this end. And when I get to my X, I'm going to stop, okay? So what's kind of cool is it kind of looks like a big pair of pants sideways, doesn't it? And it already has fold marks, so I can tell where it wants to fold up. So, and I'm going to flip it over so that my first, where my shoes are on my pants, they're going up like the end of a W, okay? And it makes it a little easier. Okay, hopefully you can see that okay. I'm trying to see where okay. So I'm going to just fold it back into those regular folds that it wants to be in. Now I get here. Now I can't go this way because it gets all stuck in there, right? Even though that's the way the fold wants to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back. And then I'm going to take the other side and fold it up. And what's really cool, now I have this really long accordion that I can write on and draw with. And what's interesting is I have this funky little thing in the middle where the book actually can kind of go sideways. So you can decide to do some interesting things with that. Maybe your story goes blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get to this. Oh, maybe I'm going to put one of those stickers on this edge and make a little pocket so that something, another little piece of paper lives in there that the reader has to take out that has a clue or something. And I could totally see that you could make a little, let's use our, let's say I made a little thing to stick in there. And what's cool, you could make something that has a little peeking, because it'll peek out that hole, right? That's kind of cool. The other thing is that once you get here, then maybe this goes this way. I mean, maybe this is a book about somebody riding on a BMX track. So maybe this is some writing about it. And then when you get to here, and you can when you get to here, you have drawings, or you could make little sculptures or whatever you want to go over that. So it kind of becomes this cool interactive sculptural thing. So I hope you have fun playing with that. If you're not familiar with artist books and accordion books and things, these might seem a little weird at first, but play around with it, and we can't wait to see what you do with yours. So we will see you tomorrow, and be good out there, wash your hands, and we'll talk to you soon.